Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Hello. It's good to see you guys. This is brand new. Hello. Oh, hold on. It's good to see you guys. Again, I act like I've never been online before, so sorry. All right, so that's turned down. That's my phone. All right, so here's the thing. Everybody likes to do their predictions for the next year. I've never done this before. And generally, what everybody does is it's an upload. But admittedly, the uploads are not my thing. I'm more of a live stream kind of girl. So I did kind of want to see how this would go with me doing this live. And I do have a list of things that I kind of want to touch upon. I've been paying attention to my messages and things that have come through. Some of you might even know how I am about my dreams. I've set some intentions and kind of gone into it just to see, let's call this experimental. This is fun. So let's see what I end up rambling on about, and you all can talk amongst yourselves, because this isn't going to be a situation where I'm taking questions, or I'm not even going to throw cards. It really is. I just have some things written down. So, but I love you guys. So I got to see what's going on in the chat. So let me see who's here. And thanks for being here. Pamela, Sherry, Linda Seascape, Incognito User, Indigo Heather, Deborah, Mama Bear, Sharp Lisa, Scott. Hi, guys. Annie. Annie, you're gray. See, I'm distracted already. Annie, you're getting a wrench, because I know who you are. So you are now a moderator on my channel. Welcome to the family. Whether you like it or not. Okay, I'm just going to skip down. Actually, there's a lot of people here, so I'm excited. Yay. Okay. Scrolling down. Everybody's like Code Gray. Oh, you guys are so cute. Oh, it's turned into a thing. I love that. Everybody's like, what's Code Gray? Oh, no, you need a wrench. Yes, absolutely. You get a wrench if you're here. It helps me keep track of everybody. All right, scrolling. Still scrolling. Hi, Wiki, Sweet and Salty, Jackie, Priscilla, anybody I've missed. Thanks so much. Teresa, hi. Kay Travel Tarot. Well, hello, Kay. Yep, you're going to have to be blue. Hi. Butterflies are free. Emerald. Yeah. Right on. Okay. All right, I could do this like all night. I love that everybody's here. How exciting is that? Yay. Zoomed out. Loco Lolo, you're not blue here? Girl. Happy New Year. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello in there. I see you. That's awesome. Okay. I think everybody's blue. Yeah, I guess. I'm scrolling down. Hey, Lisa Foster. Hello, neighbor. Teresa Ford. Hello. All right. You're blue. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. I think I have all the gray peeps. If you're wearing a gray t-shirt, you need to be blue. That's a whole thing. Please hit the like button while you're here. And be sure to leave a comment. Leave a comment after this is over, not just in here. Leave a comment after this is over. Let me know what you think. But Okay, back to business. I knew it was going to be like this. I get distracted because I like to see what's going on with you guys. I really do have something to say. Hi, Pamela. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, happy 2023 to you too. So generous of you. Thanks. So, okay. Typically, I am learning that everybody who does these 2023 or whatever the new year is predictions, it is an upload. Upload is not my vibe. I am more of a live stream girl. It's what I do. It makes me comfortable. It's my comfort zone. I kind of feed off of everybody in there. So I do kind of have some things that I want to touch on. I do. I have some things I want to talk about. I'm not going to throw cards. Like I said, it was stuff I really kind of set intentions on. I've been thinking about. I've been really feeling and vibing on. And some of it you may be interested in. Some of it you may not give two shits. So I'm going to touch on several different topics here. You guys are the best. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay. Again, with the distraction. I am going to peek in every so often to see what you guys are doing, but I'm going to, oh no. Deb Z's here. Oh, where's Wayne? Oh, here's the whole thing. Oh, Brigitte, you're gray. Hey, you need to be blue. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right. Yes, spill the tea, Lisa, is what Annie is saying. Okay. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is, let me pick one here. This is so new for me. Okay. First thing I want to talk about. Or I do want to talk about LGBTQ plus stuff, women's rights, things along those lines. I think for the next year, I mean, that's a laser focus. That's definitely something that's going to be addressed a lot. And you're going to see it in the media. You're going to see it in TV shows. You're going to see it in film. I mean, you already see a lot of that already. But I think that it's really, especially with the recent events like the terrible shooting and stuff that went on recently, and I think that there is a focus upon that, and you are finding that you are coming across even people loved ones, or within your own family, or however the distance may be. A friend of a friend. People are paying attention to the pronouns and all of that. And I think that there's a tendency to think that that's happening because it's trendy. But I think it's really something that it's evolving. And I think that people are saying it's trendy because it's something that's kind of new. So it's difficult for some to embrace. So I think that's something to pay attention to. So that will be prevalent next year. You will see a lot more of that where people are paying attention to the pronouns and how to address things and address individuals, and even in the workplace and things like that. I think that's going to happen. And I think that's very positive. That's very forward thinking. So I think that's super cool. Okay, I jotted down something about, okay, women's rights. Yeah. With the Roe v. Wade thing, everything dealing with the Supreme Court and all the stuff we've been doing with that, there's really been, I think a lot of us who are of a certain age feel like that things are moving backward. I I think that feeling or thinking in that way tends to negate the forwardness of it all. I think that this is really, we need to focus a little bit more on the positive end of things instead of the negative. And I have a tendency to do the same thing myself. Something happens, whether it's in the media, in the news, or whatever, and your first instinctive thought is, oh, well, here we go again. But it really is, it's an indication of movement. Things are moving, things are changing. It means that the resistance means that something has been recognized and a change needs to happen. So that's okay. And that's fine. It just embrace each other and recognize that not everything's going to go your way. And we all don't think the same way. So I'm distracted by the chat again. I knew this was going to happen. Melissa Miller, you are blue. I can't help myself. Sorry, guys. Linda Thompson, hi. Yeah, you need to be blue. All right. Yep. I have to sidetrack and do this. Okay. So, but yes, bottom line, guys, think for yourselves. Even within our community, because I, by far, never expect all of you to think the same way that I do. Now, I do think that like-minded people, we talk about that all the time. It's a blessing. It's nice when you find your own peeps, but even within our own community, you're going to find some differences on opinion. Everybody has their own experiences. Everybody has their own, it might even be geographical. It might be religious even, or regional. You just don't know. It's just really important to be accepting. If you can be accepting and open-minded, I think that can really make, oh gosh, that could go so far, right? As long as you understand or try to, you don't have to necessarily get on board. It's not, you guys are, yes, Teresa Ford, as long as people are kind. Yeah, just be kind. Be kind. And as tough as it is, be forgiving too. Not everybody, gray alert, you guys are killing me. Hi, Bridget. Hey. Bridget, get ready. You're getting a blue shirt. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh, Bridget said, hi, Lisa. I keep thinking I'm subscribed to too many channels and enough is enough. But I love your upbeat energy. It's so fresh. Girl, I'm so glad I read that comment. Oh my gosh, I need to find that on here so I can just pin it for a while. Thank you for that. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, yep, here it is. Thank you, Bridget. That's everything. That makes me happy. Look at me, my envelope that I found that I've written things on. Okay, I'm going to move on to something else here. Where is Lionel? Okay, Seascape. I see. Ah, smiling heart. You're not blue. Girl. Why aren't you blue? Happy blue. Love you, smiling heart. Okay, so moving on from that. All right, I do have something about gun control. I think there is going to be some kind of a regulation on that, but not new information. I've often said with the gun thing, I'm in Kentucky. We've got guns here that we do. And really, it's all about your knowledge of how to be responsible with that. And because I think I'm really super liberal. Duh, that's a given. But I'm not so much opposed to guns. Honestly, I might lose some subscribers on that. I'm not opposed, but I do think there is a sense of responsibility. I think there is something that some kind of testing that needs to happen prior to the purchase of such a thing. Age, um, experience, and the access. And you don't need the big gun that blows up the whole planet. You don't need the rapid fire. I don't think that's necessary. So I don't know. It's going to take a while to get there, but I think there is a way to regulate it to where we get a little bit of a better handle on this stuff. It's we got to think about the kids. We got to think about the workplace and looking at other countries. I think I even mentioned that on a previous live stream. There's no shame in looking at other countries and how they're handling it. Pick the countries who do not have the issues like we do, and we need to replicate that or learn from it or something. I don't like to buy into the idea that we as Americans have a tendency to be more reactive and not proactive. We don't pay attention to anything of importance unless there's been a major event. And that's sad. And that's not the way to go. I mean, you can't. I mean, here I am trying to do a predictive live stream, but realistically, how predictive can you be on certain things? You just don't know where people are coming from, or what motivates them, or how they've been brought up. And even if you've got, let's say, guy or girl A over here who's had a relatively wonderful life, but maybe there's something that's really triggering that can get them to the point where they can be irresponsible with weapons, and that's something to think about. But I do think for next year there is going to be something implemented somehow. I don't know if it's based upon testing or something like that, or just the removal of the weapons that are so heavy duty and unnecessary. So that might be something that's going to be addressed next year. I think that's going to be important. Let me tap back into the chat. Oh, Jackie. Okay, Jackie. Sip, sip. I do have a beverage, guys. Jackie knows me too well. All of you know me too well. I do have a beverage. So, how you doing? It's over here. Happy New Year's Eve. All right. So, let's see what else we got here. I'm hitting upon all kinds of stuff as best I can. I think I kind of know why people do the upload. It does. I can see that that's a little bit easier, I guess, if you just kind of have an itinerary and do your thing. But I love you guys, so there's that. Okay, Um, women's rights. Okay, I jotted that down. So women's rights for next year. Women's rights. I do think it's really fantastic that we've got some strong women on the Supreme Court. However, basically based upon the past administration, the Supreme Court has been put into question on different levels. However, that aside, and it's not just political, it's not just legislative. I do think that as a whole, a lot of awareness has been brought to the forefront with women's rights. Of course, we're in a situation where we thought that the rights were there, right? It's like we're trying to almost backtrack to the age of suffrage and all that, and that's unfortunate. But I think that something that needs to be observed and understood is that there's more control. Women have more control than is being displayed or broadcast to the general public. I think that there's more of a positive stance as opposed to a very passive one. I think things can change. I know that the joke is, the older Caucasian males, but I think it also needs to be addressed that that demographic. I'm not trying to pigeonhole or stereotype too much with that. There are plenty of Caucasian males who are fantastic, but the perceived notion of that being the ultimate power, which is an issue, but the majority is not so much the majority anymore, and I think the minority is starting to level it out a little bit. Is my vibe. Whether it be popular, unpopular, or whatever. But the reading being, gosh, I'm telling you, these live streams. So my vibe for next year is I do think that there will be more recognition on the fact that there is a little bit more that can be done towards women's rights, the different ethnicities, economic issues. It's a turning point. It's did I say growing pains already like 400 times? Because that's always how I feel about it. I think that there are going to be periods of time. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's going to be something that happens around the springtime that really sparks more of a confidence toward overcoming the old stereotypes. So let's see what happens in the spring, guys. I feel like in the spring, we're going to see some legalities that change and attitudes that change. And, there's always going to be opposition. It's not going to be, although I'd love for it to be, it's not going to be kumbaya, right off. It's going to take a while. There's always going to be a group, an entity, an area that's going to be singled out and targeted, and that's unfortunate. But I do feel like somewhere around the springtime, we're going to see something that's kind of pivotal, kind of inspiring. And I don't know if it's going to be an event that happens, but I think good things are coming. Think of the spring. We'll see. Let's see what goes with this. I'm feeling like the spring is like going to be everything. All right, let me get back in the chat, see what's going on. I think you got, oh, Jane, why are you gray? All right, well, there you go. Becky Brothers, hi. Well, you need to be blue. All right, good to see you. Oh, hey, Karen's here. Hi, Karen. How are you and Judd doing? Good to see you. Oh, my goodness. And he said squirrel, for sure. Secrets of the Red Moon Terror. Oh, Dean, hi. So good to see you. Oh, my gosh. We got 85 people in chat. Yay. 85 people watching me ramble on about what's going on for the new year. I love it. You guys are the best. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see what else is on my list here. And I almost feel like maybe this live stream in itself is my own New Year's resolution. If you guys do that, I don't really. I'm on the fence with resolutions. I don't think that it's necessary to put that pressure on yourself. I think sometimes people have some unrealistic aspirations there. Like, don't set those goals. Oh, Annie, sip. It has to happen. Cheers. But yeah, don't set unrealistic goals for yourselves, guys. But where I'm going with that was, for the new year, typically I'm not good at organizing. I think it's really interesting that I have a list of things. And guys, I don't list anything ever. So I have some stuff written down. So I'm really trying to, but I don't have, paragraphs of things. I've just like written down some names or topics, and I'm just going to either talk about it or skirt on. So, all right. So yes, resolutions, guys, take it or leave it. If that's something you like to do, go for it. But don't set those expectations. And if you don't meet them, don't let it bring you down. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's necessary. But for me, I do think it's funny that here I am making a list, and I don't do that. So that is funny. But definitely, reset. Every New Year is a reset. Try something different. If it doesn't work out, so be it. It's going to lead towards something else that you need to do, and that's fine. Go with the flow, for sure. Okay, back to my list. I'm trying not to make this extremely boring because I know somebody in there is all about the politics. You know who you are. I'm waiting on that. I'm just kind of fluttering around with stuff. So, okay. I did write down, for whatever reason, I wrote down fashion, music, technology. So, with fashion, I'm not I'm not a fashion plate. That is not my thing. I'm not really into fashion, but I feel like fashion wise, if anybody out there is into that, I think that next year fashion is going to be very a little bit more casual, a little bit more chill. And I think that a lot of what I'm kind of vibing on is a result of the pandemic. We've had a whole session of us being at home, being casual, uh, getting back to basics on things, really paying more attention to our connections with other people, or even if it's not even something you like to do, you seek out other people, just because I think it's just really been it's made sense. Even if you're really, um, a, let's say, a loner, I think even the loners are kind of looking for, if anything, other loners to bond with. It's like you don't have to hang out all the time. It's not a constant everyday thing, but tying it back into the fashion thing, just if you are given the opportunity to be retired or work from home or anything like that, it's not necessarily having to deck yourself out and be anywhere. I think even that's been downgraded a little bit. I don't think there's so much emphasis on your look. I think it's all about really being casual. So there's something about fashion. I feel like fashion for the new year is going to be loose, not a lot of tight fitting clothes, and um, I'm just cracking up that I'm even talking about fashion. But anyway, without beating a dead horse on that, yes, I think that it's going to loosen up a little bit. Very, very, very laid back. Very laid back. Music. Okay, music. Now this is what I got with music, and my music vibe is mainly based upon um, a dream that I had, and I couldn't figure out if, and that's something else that I'll say on this live stream. Like, how much am I going to regret this live stream? Because everybody does their uploads, right? They're very prepared. Okay. In doing this, which is new for me, I did have an issue personally with figuring out if I was getting messages versus my wanting something to happen. So I tried to really find a nice, unbiased space for that. When we got to music, I felt a certain way. And I think all of you know that I just love music anyway. So, um, with the music, I was interested because I don't know a lot of the current songs that are going on. I do have a tendency to, I think once anyone reaches a certain age, you have a tendency to kind of go back to the songs, or the tones, or the vibe that you grew up with, or reminders of things and all that. And but with this, I wrote music down because I really felt like music in general is going to go back to the acoustics and um, the songwriting, and even back like before. I mean, the techno is in, and the reverb, and I think that's still a thing. But I think next year you're going to find that it's really going to be very minimal. I think that music's going to be about the lyrics, and it's going to be a nice beat or whatever, but I think it's going to almost be Motowny, like I said, songwritery, very old school Cat Stevensy. But it's going to have more depth, um, more feeling. And I think a lot of that is going to be even lyrically based upon what everybody's been through right now. I think everybody's really getting in touch with themselves. And, we've got a whole generation of people, guys, who are really, um, they're tech savvy, but they're creative. And I think they're very appreciative of a lot of the what they believe to be or know to be the old school stuff. So I think we might see some more of that kind of peeking through. And I'm not even just talking about like remakes, because everybody, gosh, we know everybody makes remakes. Uh, you know, run that into the ground. Whether it's music or movies or whatever, and like how many different remakes of movies have there been? But I think we're going to see more creativity. Is where I'm going with that. All right, let me peek back in here, see what's going on. Anybody I've missed, thank you for being here. Everybody, please hit the like button and hit the please make a comment after the fact. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. And thank you for being here. And Melda said sip sip, so I gotta honor that. That has to happen. Happy New Year's Eve. Okay, so what else we got? I wrote down, oh my gosh, I can't even read what I wrote down. What is that? What is that? Oh, business. Okay. I might lose some people on this one. Business and economy. Okay. I feel like for 2023, I think there is going to be a little bit of a recession that goes on. I think the economy is going to struggle. And I don't think that's much of a surprise. I don't want to dwell too much on that because you know how I am. I kind of want to keep things kind of light. I don't think the economy is going to cause a crash, but it's definitely going to raise concerns. Prices are going to go up, is what I'm feeling. Employment will probably be about the same as it is right now, is what I'm feeling. But on the upswing, I think that environmentally, everybody's going to pay more attention to that. I think we're going to pay a lot of attention to the things we've been overlooking all along. I think that there is going to be a lot of concern about our natural resources and our wildlife and water, and making sure that everything is fresh and clean. I think that those are things that are going to be looked at next year, which could in turn actually spark more businesses. You got to think about, I'm telling you guys, the next generation. I think it's really going to spark more businesses who are more environmentally inclined, is what I'm feeling. I think that's going to happen quite a bit, which kind of spills over into my next thing. I've got, research, medicine. I think natural medicine is going to be something that's prevalent. I think there's going to be a lot more experimentation that's targeted toward cancer and different things like that. Which is great. That kind of stuff is good. I think those kinds of things are going to happen. I think we will see some, and again, we're coming off of a pandemic. So I think that the pandemic itself has brought awareness to health and future and legacy and all of that in regards to healthcare. So that in itself spills back into economy and business and things like that. Definitely a lot of attention to the natural, which is funny because here I am in the middle of Kentucky, but I think that, if you're, a lot, oh, geez. Well, there's that too. Natural medicine, things with, CBD and things like that. I think once things can be contained responsibly and people can really understand a lot of the benefits with plant medicine, things like that, I think that's going to make a difference next year as well. And unfortunately, money talks. So I think once more areas understand that there is a profit with that sort of thing, I think that will be paid attention to as well, which sucks. It's unfortunate that it's not about how those kinds of things help individuals health wise. It's about how much money you can make off of it. But by God, if that's what they're looking at, the money side, but as a side effect it helps everybody, then sign me up. So there's that. But I do think that's going to be addressed next year, more so than previously. All right. Anybody else in here that's gray? I don't think so. I think we got everybody. I think we got a sea of blue, which is exactly how I like it. Nobody has said sip sip, but I'm going to do a sip sip. Cheers, guys. Rose blue, I get a contact high if I'm around the smoke. Girl, I think I get a contact high if it just happens in there. If you guys are doing it, I think I pick up on it over here. I don't even have to be in the same room. It's a whole thing. Yes, we're singing the Smurf song. Yada, yada. Love it. Okay. How long have we been on? 43 minutes of me doing this. I cannot believe this. This is fascinating. Thanks, guys, for hanging with me on this. This is so new. So new. I'm trying so hard not to be distracted. Okay, let me get to some other stuff here. I've jotted down some things here. Okay, I do want to touch upon media. Okay, we know that Barbara Walters just passed, right? And the Pope just passed away as well. Look, I feel like I really want to talk about Barbara Walters passing. I feel like and even with the Pope, it's so weird. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make this make sense, but it makes sense in my head. I don't even know if you all are familiar with the like the Godfather films. You know how at the end of all the films, there's it's like, okay, it's like people get killed off or whatever, but it's the end of an era and the beginning of an era. And you just know that it means that there's a larger message there. Not sure if you even know what I mean. Let me try to explain. Okay, even with Barbara Walters passing, it made me think, okay, well, initially, well, yeah, Barbara Walters, duh, grew up with her, understood. She was someone who represented the news, the media. It was very Walter Cronkite, very, anybody that you ever looked toward as a symbol of truth or of, whatever they're saying, that must mean something. Uh, all the 60 Minutes guys and the just it is the end of an era. But I think it's ironic that with the new year, we've lost Barbara Walters. And I think that there's something to be said with that. I think that that means I almost feel like it's the universe at work saying, pay attention to the media. There's something about, whether you agree with her, don't agree with her, she may have started out on a certain level of um, presenting the news, and it might have ventured over into some bullshit. And we know about The View and all that, however you feel about that. But overall, media. And we know that 45 introduced so many questions about the media. And even since 45, I myself have questioned the media without which is so funny because that's something I used to kind of rip on him about, him questioning that. But yeah, you really need to be mindful of your sources and your resources, and it's okay to form your own opinion on stuff, and don't just stick with one channel, one network. There's a lot to be said about being open-minded and accepting, and um, making sure you're on the right track on um, the decisions that you make. Don't make your own decisions based upon just what you heard on TV. Trust your gut. Um, you know what's right or wrong, regardless of what you see or hear. So make that your basis for a lot of what you do, is where I'm going with that. But I do think that's interesting that we lost her, and I think that that's the end of an era, right? A little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's really a significant thing to think about, and the timing of it is uncanny to me. So I just thought that was something worth paying attention to. So regarding next year, media wise, this is where I'm going with this. I did throw the Pope in there, but that's a whole other thing. I'll get to that in a second. But I think that next year, media wise, you're going to find that there's going to be a lot more of what's going on, actually, like what's going on here. Uh, because all of you guys, and I know you all say it all the time, a lot of you get your news from these channels because the news wears you out so much. So that's something to think about. I think that for next year, I don't think that that's something to be ignored. I think that as a whole, I think the whole population looks to other sources other than the basic news channels. And people are watching, uh, Stephen Colbert. They're watching Seth Meyers. They're watching YouTube. They have their go-tos. I think the news is changing on that level. I think that it's almost like everybody gets their news from people who just have something to say about the news. But I think that next year that's going to change in the realm that I think a lot of the big networks, I think a lot of the big networks are really going to get back to basics too, because they know that nobody's paying attention to them anymore. Fox News is worn out. CNN's even worn out. MSN's worn out. It's the same old, same old. And I think people are watching the individual independent channels, that they're listening to the podcasts, and it's really gotten away from the biggies. So I think that the biggies are going to change next year because they're missing out. They're losing their audience. So that's where I was going with the Barbara Wawa stuff. I think that that kind of a thing is going to be different next year. All right. Let's see. Oh, I got a couple other things. Are you guys doing okay? How are you all doing? Are you all doing okay in there? And I will be sure to watch the replay on this because I miss whenever I do live stream, I usually have to go back and kind of see what everybody's talking about. So I'll see what you all are saying in there. So don't think your comments are in vain. Jackie with a sip sip, because I will definitely see Scooter Babe Suzanne. Who are you? Is that our Suzanne? You guys change your names, I'm telling you. Everybody's like, just we're just damn glad to be here. I'm just glad you guys enjoy hanging out with each other. So that's everything. I'll tell you what, I do need to use the facilities. Let me step away for a moment. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back because I do have more that I want to say, whether you like it or not. So hold on. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if I've lost my momentum on this. I think you can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Hope so. Everybody's talking to each other. Okay, I think you can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to we hear you, Lisa, sing. Okay. Come on, guys. I'm trying to stay on task here. I'm trying to be a good girl. All right. So, what else? I just have a couple other things I'm going to talk about, and I'll let it go because we're almost at an hour, and that's great. An hour live stream of this. Awesome. Okay. All right. I didn't talk about the Pope, but my whole thing that I was going to say about the Pope is that I think we all kind of know that everything about the Vatican is tied in with so many other things, and I think that there is, I think with the Pope's passing, possibly next year, we might hear some more things about things that he was working on or things that he intended to work on. And I think he's just passing that baton over to whoever the next gentleman is going to be. But that's going to be interesting in itself. So there's that. There's a lot of underlying stuff with the Vatican, and I think that unintentionally we might see something next year or hear something next year regarding what they've been investigating or supporting or even been involved with. I think that that's going to, we might get a shock or maybe not so shocking, but I think there's something to pay attention to with that. Is anybody gray in there? I think we're good. Everybody's still blue. Yay. That's what I'm talking about. That's my kind of party. Okay. So, yeah, it wasn't it wasn't the current Pope who passed. It was the previous Pope. There was, Old Spirit Art. Lisa, he found or was involved with some nasty money stuff. Yeah. Well, you need to be blue just because that's going on. So welcome. Good to see you. Old Spirit Art. Right on. Okay, so let me get back to my list. All right, I'm just going to touch on. I'm not a follower of the Royals, but I was getting a vibe about the Royals. And it's actually tied in with stuff here in the U.S. We all know about how Prince Andrew is a whole deal, right? His ties with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein and all that. I think that there's something to be said about, I did see this in the news. King Charles has removed little bro from his little comfort zone over there. And I think there's something to be said about that. I don't want to go there a whole lot because the vibe is icky and it makes me uncomfortable. But I do think that there is a method to that madness. I think that Charles is really making it a point to single Andrew out and separate him from the fam as best he can, because I think stuff's coming. I think that there's going to be something next year regarding Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and all that underground weirdness. And I think that the monarchy is really proactively taking steps to finally nip some of that shit in the bud. I think that there is something around the corner that's going to be quite alarming. And on our side of the pond, it's not restricted to Republicans. I think that even on a Democratic level, we're going to be quite surprised. I think there's going to be something that's going to come to fruition that's going to let us know just who has those odd connections, those uncomfortable connections, because I think that it's going to be a big deal. And even if not next year, the following year, but I think it might be next year. I think we're going to get some more evidential content on that. It's not going to be pretty at all. It's not going to be anything that any of us want to readily accept, but it's going to be out there. It's going to be out there. And I think Ghislaine has a lot of information to share. I think shit's about to get real with that for sure. Hi, Emerald Buddha. Sip, sip. Hey. Milda said, I think I saw Charlie. Are you talking about my Charlie? Charlie's here. This is Charlie's new spot. Charlie likes it right there. Someone was kind enough. I never know if I can say these things. You know who you are if you're watching the replay or if you're in here. Got 2 stockings, one for Axel. Axel's the red. Charlie's the yellow. I don't create things, guys. Somebody had to make those for me. Those are little stockings for the kids. So that happened. But yes, Charlie likes that little spot. And I don't know where Axel is. I predict for the new year, Axel is reaching maturity and he's just kind of doing his own thing. Yeah, I'm waiting for Axel to come up and say, Mom, I need my own place. I need an apartment. I love you, but I need my own space. I think Axel's getting really independent over here, so I don't know what's going on. All right. So, yes, Charlie likes to keep control of the room when I'm on air. I guess so, for sure. Okay, well, we've dropped a bunch in people in chat, so I probably talked too much. We have reached an hour, so there's that. I'm looking at my notes really quick to see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think I kind of hit on everything I wanted to mention. Okay, politically, pay attention to, I do think 45 is going to be indicted. Pay attention to Matt Gaetz, Ivanka, and Jared. And I feel like the siblings, the Trump siblings, there's a whole thing happening there, guys. With the 3, with Junior, Eric, and Ivanka. They're definitely not on the same team. I almost feel like Eric used to kind of follow around behind Junior. But I think that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's really separating all 3 of the older siblings. So there's something with that too. So I did write that down. I wrote down Jack Smith with like a thumbs up. Jack Smith's doing his thing. And I did write down Ukraine and Zelensky. And yeah, I think next year there'll still be issues with Ukraine. I think Zelensky will still be safe. And then at the very bottom here under Russia, I didn't write down anything about Putin, but I did write down Brittany Griner. Griner? Is it Griner? Grenier? The NBA chick that with her, I feel like, and this is so lame, I feel like next year there's going to be either she's already been approached or it's going to be a thing. I think somebody just wants to do some Hollywoody thing with her. I think somebody just wants her story. I don't know if that's anything that she can do. I don't know how that works. I don't know if she's got a, what do you call it, non-disclosure agreement or whatever. But I think that there's a definite interest in something with her story. I think that that's something that might happen next year. So that's random. So there's a random thing. Griner, the true story. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I think that somebody really thinks that there's something with that. I think that, and it kind of touches on the marijuana thing too again. So I don't know. Maybe that's of interest somehow. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. Happy 2023. That's it. I'm so glad that I'm so glad you guys were here for this. So, all right, let me give a look-see here. Anybody else? Gray. I don't see a whole lot of gray. So are you all doing anything special for New Year's Eve? I am not. I am right here, but I will tell you, I'm still in the process of getting stuff together over here. Like, oh my God, my parents have so much stuff, guys. You have no idea. Every nook and freaking cranny has something in it. And I'm trying to fit my own things in and trying to let go of things that I don't need and that aren't necessary to hold on to. But I don't want to get rid of anything that I might need to hold on to for any reason. So there's that. But anyway, where I'm going with that is I found a bottle of champagne that my parents had, and it doesn't look like it's so much like hoity-toity great champagne. I think it's just an old-ass bottle of champagne. So I think that's what I'm going to do later. I'm going to open that champagne and hope I don't die. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I did. Ironically, I found champagne here. So I'll check that out. If y'all don't hear from me after tonight, you'll know something went terribly wrong. But anyway, thank you for being here, everybody. We did this for an hour, live stream predictions, and you all were great, and you all were very patient, and thank you. And I will do this again next year if it turns out this year was good. But please, what hospital am I near? Exactly. I'll post it. I'll let you all know if something went really bad. But yeah, like, subscribe, come back and see the other stuff that goes on here. Tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll probably go live tomorrow as well, just as a follow-up and to let you all know if I live through the champagne, because Lord knows what shape that's in. Somebody said gray. Dorothy Lynn. Happy New Year. You're a moderator. All right, guys. I love you. Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. If you can stay in your home and not drive around, do that. If you have to go somewhere, please get a friend. Try Uber. Do that. But I would prefer that you all stay exactly where you are. Annie, sip, sip. Happy New Year, guys. Oh, and How you doing? How you doing? All right. You have a good one. I'll see you really soon. So, Happy New Year. Smoochies.